Good day, friends. Good day, lovely humans. Well, today's story is about lies. Well, it should be about truth, but it was very hard to find around the environment that we live on, that we cohabitate with very truthful beings, like animals, birds, whales, trees. Yet they never lost a faith in you, that you will tell the truth. Why are you eating them? Why are you abusing them? Why are you not treating well your housing project when you build it from the freshly cut trees? And why we are so reluctant to use the most profound word with the question mark on the end, which is the why, the word of the why. So title: Illness grows best under the guise of lies. Or, what is the difference between misinformation, disinformation, and sin information or sin formation? So being able to ask a question, why certain things are, let's say, a certain way, why somebody is presenting you certain things in their own ways, what is the motive behind, and, well, not even that you have to know the motive, but you have to challenge that it's not as is, that it's not as whatever somebody else says, government, politicians, bankers, wife, husband, religion leaders, that you just take it as a face value. Jesus was sacrificed. The big crash in 1931 happened because of something. So when you go deeper in any kind of field that you operate, or that you want to kind of investigate a bit more, you have to be very truthful to yourself. Don't take anything around you as truthful until you make this choice. Otherwise, you'll be very easily swindled. You'll be easily, let's say, run over, physically, literally, and let's say allegorically, because none of us can trust anybody else but our own self, our own guts, our own inner feeling of, let's say, what you take it as the truth at the present moment. But if you take it as a, let's say, if you take it as nothing but the truth, what media is telling you, what schools are teaching you, what history, let's say, was recorded in the books, then you'll be pretty much disseminated into pieces of, or let's say fractioned, that nobody will be able to collect you. Because once when you fraction with this information, you go and then separate yourself from this so-called reality. You create some kind of false reality, and then you live in a parallel with your present reality where you are. Very easy observing, let's say, mainstream media, politicians, when they're talking really garbage, when they're coming out into the public eye, but very small number of people, it's really asking why these creatures are there. What are they trying to pull over your eyes this time? It's the same old, very dark and sinister energy that nobody want to admit that it was there. You call it, Satan, devil's energy, Lucifer's energy, or Lucifer's intent to do what? with all of your fears and efforts to, let's say, survive a bit more, a bit longer, to live so-called happily ever after, when you realize that ever after would never come. Because you always live in some kind of projected reality of unattainable future. So how to bring yourself into the present moment and start realizing that around you is not all so peachy or beautiful, or everybody is telling the pure truth and nothing but the truth. Especially when you go to, let's say, legal mumbo jumbo court dealings, they kind of swear you on the Bible, and you have to say truth and nothing but the truth. But they never do this for themselves. So they can, lawyers, advocates, judge behind you or whatever, they can lie no matter what. They can never swear on the Bible, because for them Bible is something very, very dangerous. They will never admit that they're not even part of this so-called, let's say, Christianity movement that was going for last 2 millennia, trying to bring truth into your face so you make a choice. But they're always putting an agency in between you and your decisions, between you and your energy that you spend on whatever, making money, making bread, making baby. They'll put the doctors, midwives, and all the other medical shenanigans. They will just steal placenta from you. They will steal your energies. They will bring a lot of pain and trouble into the, let's say, the birthing process, that it shouldn't be like this. It's actually very, very pleasant when the mother knows how this birthing process can unfold so beautifully. So a little bit of difference between misinformation, disinformation, and sin formation. Misinformation is when you, let's say, somebody asks you what time it is, and you watch, and you look at you on your watch and say, well, first of all, I don't have a watch, but second of all, let's say I assume I have, and you misinform them, it's not 5:30, it's 4:30. So to me, it is like unintentional misinformation. But if you do this on purpose, and especially when you have no obligation to feel guilty in any way that you do this just because you want to have fun or you want to tell the lie, or this is called disinformation. And when you, as the mainstream media is doing it now, and many people teaching in the schools, very, very wrong dogmas or very dogmatic teachings, or scientists that are actually presenting so-called scientific achievements, they are absolutely non-scientific and they're absolutely lies. So to me, this is like sin formation, very sinister dissemination of informations towards you. But not to put the blame on any of these creatures, anybody, the one who gave you a wrong time to the one who gave you, like an Einstein gave you like a relativity, completely wrongful, purposefully and intentionally distributed in your face that everything is relative, or so-called. Total falsehood. And this was done on purpose. So to me, this, let's say, Einstein theories of crap belongs into sin formation. It's not their fault. They do because they are like this. People or the creatures lie, cheat, steal. But it's up to you to make a choice. Are you going to trust what I'm saying, or you start asking a word, why? Why they're giving you certain informations, especially if they're repeating on and on the same lie 1,000 times. Eventually they can refer to their lie from yesterday saying, see, yesterday you heard this, so and so. Trump did something, somebody else says. And then somebody else heard from somebody else. And so on. I mean, this farce of investigations they are doing, like over Trump, and basically over all of us who want to think for ourselves. It's such a farcical disgrace of existence for these creatures. And this is where you have to watch what Trump is doing. How he doesn't judge them, he doesn't judge you. It's waiting for you to start making your own choice. To tell really all these creatures to fuck off this planet, to fuck off the Congress, to fuck off any of the positions they are holding on. And not to be afraid anymore to ask a question. Why they're posing with this stupid and very silly and very untruthful informations in your face. South Africa, let's say, situation. Now, racism is on the rise. But nobody want to mention, none of these ANC creatures in, let's say, a ruling party. They sat after the apartheid was so-called finished. They sat on the throne and they never stepped off for 25 years straight. And the situation and an inhumane way of living just deteriorate in here. So my question was, why? It was not only like a white so-called elite was ruling the country before '94. So Mandela tried to change it, but again, he has been hijacked completely. His energies and his let's say, teachings has been totally hijacked. Now they have a Mandela Association that is prosecuting all the whites because they are simply white. And they cannot say, you are black racist. But my best defense for anybody who want to call others racist is to turn this around and check what criminal these creatures did. What kind of corruption they've done. So exclude the color of the skin out of this so-called ill-intentional narrative, that we don't pay attention on the real problem, which is criminality, which is corruption, which is theft, which is abuse, which is illegals coming in a millions in South Africa, against this false narrative of the racism. So how do they instigate this? They're doing these, let's say, false flags, attacking and killing and abusing the white farmers who are living, let's say, in a quite remote areas. Yet I think this will really break over these criminals who are now in the present government, because we'll not be able to sustain this kind of corruption for much longer, because many of us see the difference. What is more important, being racist or being just? What is more important, being black or being non-corrupted? It doesn't matter what colors are on your face, on your bum, or whatever you think that this color represents your quality. Means nothing if your actions show that you are the most distrusted and the corrupted criminal who sits in the Congress or in the Parliament of South Africa. Or you can see now in your face in the United States, in Canada, in Croatia. I mean, just choose the country, and you'll see many of these truthful and just warriors are coming on surface. the main lead is Trump. So watch how he will totally disseminate them, not judgmentally, but he will absolutely cut all their heads, because you, as a free human, start asking this, start trusting your own choice, that you see what stupid Schiff is doing, or Pelosi, or Zuma, or Ramaphosa, or Kitarovic in Croatia, or now in EU. Now she become European Bank CEO, that she was on Federal Reserve recently. So, I mean, they're just shifting the place from one chair to another and revolving doors on and on, but eventually this door will hit them in their ass and they will just propel them into the open. And everybody will see what and how they deceive people. Because you, as a sane human, you have to start asking why certain things are in your face. If I put this like this, you see nothing. You just see a blur of some text or nothing. So you have to really pull yourself out, like kind of zoom out and observe why they're doing these things. Why Eskom in here in South Africa, the biggest and the only actually electrical distributor, is doing criminal acts against humanity, against people here. Load shedding, cutting the electricity whenever they want, disrupting tourism, production, farming, and everything else. Yet nobody was held accountable until this last couple of months. Because for every of these shutdowns, they will actually be absolutely criminally charged. All of them involved. And yesterday, we lost power because some criminals stole a cable from the main station to distribution station just for this region of Vermont where we are. They stole very thick cable. So you tell me, how come I didn't call these creatures? They're absolutely criminals, and they have to be called by the name. Criminals. Corrupted politicians cannot make a sane and just decisions. So, what's the choice? What's your choice? What is our choice? To replace and to remove all of these creatures who are pretending they're doing something, let's say, useful for you, because they say 20 times a day they're opening the schools, but they don't say how much money they stole in the meantime. So, anyway, best question for you: why? What is behind everybody's action that they actually presenting to you? They are there to be of benefit for you. You just have to vote them in the office and give them access to billions and billions, and they will do squat, nothing, until you change your attitude. So be it.
Let's give them a helicopter ride, okay? Right? Good. You're fucking a white male!
Explain to me how Trump is like Hitler. Bye.